Hey, Steve. How would you assess Steph's return and the overall impact that he had on the team tonight?
Yeah, Steph was great. He looked, that was the main thing. He just looked like he was moving really well and looked strong, and came out and played a great game in his 24 minutes.
Just in terms of playing him 4 shifts, having him come off the bench in the second half, was that just about keeping him fresh and managing the ankle?
It was about letting him finish the game, and we had a minutes restriction on him at 24, and so we talked to him earlier about starting the game, but then not starting the third quarter so that he could play the last 6 minutes of each, the third and the fourth quarter. So it worked out well. I mean, it's tough with a minutes restriction to start and finish. So that was our solution.
After both teams combined for 50 points in that second quarter, a combined 75 points in the third, schematically, what did you feel changed in that third quarter for both teams?
Not a ton. I just thought shots started to go in, for them for sure. I thought we let our guard down a little bit defensively, but they had guys who got hot. They got to the foul line a little bit, and the game opened up.
And with all the young players that the Wizards have, what did you see from their energy, their effort, and focus tonight?
I loved what I saw from their team. I think Brian has done a great job of getting them organized, giving them confidence. They've got a good-looking group of young guys, athletic and long, and a lot of guys shooting threes. Obviously, Kyshawn George got hot and made a bunch of threes, and it makes sense, like what they're putting together, what they're trying to do, and they've got a lot of good-looking young prospects.
Do you know did Brandin come into the game not feeling that well, or did that surprise?
No, he didn't say anything, but he had to come out almost immediately in that third quarter. He just said, "Coach, I gotta come out." I had no idea why, so he walked off, and then Yodes told me afterwards that he was feeling sick, and that's why he didn't come back.
So you just called illness?
Yeah, just illness, but there wasn't anything bothering him pregame.
And then on the Steph front, I mean, I'm sure you haven't scripted out exactly what the minutes restriction might be, but like, how cautious do you plan to be with him moving forward?
Probably depends on how he comes out tomorrow, but there were no problems at all tonight. He got through everything well, and assuming he feels good tomorrow, I don't anticipate a big minutes restriction or anything like that for Boston.
Coach, it's early obviously, but 6-1, 4-0 on the road. What's your assessment early of what you've been dealing with to get to this point, and how well does that bode for you guys going forward?
Obviously, we love the start. I mean, to go 6-1, that exceeds, I think, our expectations. But we also know that our schedule has been kind to us. We've played some teams who have been injured. We've played some young teams. So it's about to get a lot harder. We play basically the 3 best teams in the league the rest of this week. So I like our progress, but we have a lot of work ahead.
Down the stretch, when you needed to get some stops, you went with Kyle and Draymond and a center, or Trace. How much do you like that group, that trio defensively?
Yeah, I really like them. I mean, Kyle's just he's a guy who gets you organized, gets you into offense, and he's so good defensively. So he's a good closer. I just thought his fourth quarter was brilliant, and they did a great job. Washington did of cutting into our lead, making it interesting down the stretch, and Kyle did a good job of kind of holding them off.
Coach, not related to the game, but being in Washington, any last message to the American people before tomorrow's election?
I gave a long message before the game, so you can look it up. But thank you. I appreciate the question.
What do you, as you head towards, you mentioned these like stiff tests coming up, like what do you think needs most to be like worked on, or what are you, I guess, concerned about heading into those games?
Well, we got to tighten up our offensive execution. we took care of the ball tonight, which was good, but it didn't feel like a clean game for us execution-wise. So we got to get better in that area. And, last couple of games we haven't forced many turnovers. I don't think we've been as disruptive as we were the first, 5 games. So hopefully a little bit of improvement at both ends. Thanks a lot.
Teams combined for 50 points in the second quarter. In the third quarter, both teams combined for 75. What do you think changed schematically to have that pop of offense?
I think it was more the defense on both sides. The pace of play was crazy, flying up and down. We got a little loose with it, turnovers. They got a lot of transition buckets. A couple more threes started falling. And deeper you get into a game, until crunch time, it loosens up a little bit. And if shots go, then the whole momentum can change either way. But, it's just the flow of the game. Thankfully, we came out strong in the first half to give ourselves a little cushion. And we're able to finish, strong down the stretch.
How do you assess the young lineup for the Washington Wizards so far this young season?
Obviously, our first time playing them, but they have a lot of talent. They're trying to put the pieces together, give guys confidence and reps. But we know what JP's about. Is it Kyshawn or Kyshawn? Kyshawn George. I like the fact that I think he started slow from 3, but he kept shooting. That's a mentality that you really can't teach. And he made some big ones in the third and early in the fourth. But they have a lot of talent. See how they put it together. Trying to develop a culture here. But you got to stay positive through some of the early growing pains.
How careful are you having to try to be right now coming off this ankle injury?
Oh, what?
How careful? I mean, 24 minutes tonight seemed like you were kind of.
I was playing just with the minute restriction and trying to figure out how to space those minutes out. That's why I didn't start in the third quarter to close both the third and the fourth. I feel good. It's just, it's still early in the year and you're trying to build up the endurance. My ankle feels fine. It's just you don't want to be in a position where you get fatigued and put yourself in jeopardy. So this is a good stepping stone.
I don't think we've talked to you since you did it. I know it was you had 2 in the same game that did it. I mean, did the first one kind of lead to the second one?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been through plenty of those episodes, and I know whether it's something I can play on or not. I made a misjudgment on that one because it was right away. The adrenaline got the best of me, but thankfully it was only a little over a week, and I feel good now.
How much will you push to bump this minute total up over 30 for the, you're in Boston Wednesday and big games ahead?
Oh, that's why this was important to get through this game where I could play aggressively, but no, I wasn't stretching to too many minutes. But the rest of this road trip is tough. We got 3 tough teams, and we want to keep building momentum, so I'm sure I'll play more, but I feel good enough to do it.
For a young person that's trying to accomplish, Bossman. For a young person that's trying to accomplish goals and reach the heights that you've already reached, what are some keys that you can share with them to try to reach those goals?
I mean, it depends on the situation, who you're talking to, but the mindset of developing work ethic, being able to deal with failure, not let it change, your competitive spirit or your ability to learn the lessons you need to learn along the way. Again, I could talk to specific people about, whatever situation they find themselves in, but you got to be prepared for when the things kind of clear your way for you to take that next jump. And this league is tough. Like, no matter what situation you find yourself in, you have to be able to deal with losing and not let it kill your spirit. You got to be able to find ways to continue to get better, even when things are rough. And it's a marathon, I didn't make the playoffs till my 5th year, so it's a test of patience.
Hey, Steph. You were guarded by Bilal Coulibaly for long stretches tonight, and people are talking about how he's made a big leap going into year 2. I'm just curious what you saw in that matchup on both ends of the floor with him.
He's tough. He's long, athletic, quick on his feet. I saw a little bit of him this summer in the gold medal game, but he's, I mean, obviously FIBA and NBA are different. So he's a willing three-point shooter now. Just you have to be a threat on that end of the floor. But defensively, he's tough. Like, you got to have counters for him. You got to be able to take the physicality, and I think it looks like he has a sense of pride on that end of the floor because he knows that's how he's going to, excel in this league. It's not going to be how many points he scores. It's, the Andre Iguodala type. Can you lock up? And I know he takes pride in it.
All right. Steph, you're about to see a team that's averaging 50 three-point attempts a game. Wondering what you make of where this is going, how far a team can push the three-point thing, and is it good for the game for that to keep going up?
You know my answer for that question. I love it. I mean, you want guys to take good shots. I think people are always comparing like our 14, 15 team, me and Klay getting up a bunch of threes, kind of changing the way the game is played. But now there's 1 through 5. You got a bunch of guys being able to shoot. Draymond up there yelling, ruin the game. But yeah, I mean, it's about how you create shots, who's taking them, if guys are working on it, and if it's a system that is designed to do that, I love it. I think there is probably a limit that it can get to, and we're pushing on it, but, they won a championship doing it, so how you going to tell them to do anything different?